What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to Coral Island. Coral Island definitely has some cool end game automation that is very, very nice, and it makes things kind of similar to one of the Automate mods for Stardew Valley. This is going to come in the form of the auto chest. The auto chest you're going to unlock via research, and this will allow you to automate processes as you see fit. The auto chest has 4 1x1 tiles or a 2x2 directly next to it, and you can use the chest to feed machines, collect the loot, and feed other machines. So in this example, say we wanted to make a wine factory, we could throw a keg here and then throw, say, aging barrels over here. Now, since the aging barrels only take up 1x1 tile space, you can fill that entire gap. So you could use 4 aging barrels to 1 keg. Now, with this example, if I went on and threw strawberries in here, the strawberries are going to get pulled into the keg. They're going to get turned into strawberry juice. The strawberry juice will then get pulled into the aging barrels, and it will turn into strawberry wine. Now, with this in mind, you might think, oh, you can automate some serious chains or networks of various things. However, you do want to be careful how these things work. Now, you can create a conveyor belt by placing down multiple auto chests, and this is going to allow everything in each individual 2x2 area here to all feed and collect off of one chest. Now, with that in mind, you do want to be cautious on how you're doing things. Say you had replicators. We can go over and take a look at my ore replication here as an example. If you had replicators down creating, say, ore, and then you were feeding the ore into furnaces to make bars, then you would want to put it on its own separate individual little network. Say here, for example. Now, as you see, I'm not making any ores. I'm just making the bars directly. However, say I had all this chained together, and then I just dumped all of my, my bronze ore, my silver ore, everything into the chest. It's going to feed the replicators to create more, and then it would feed the furnaces on the other side. However, since we can't lock a replicator to only, say, doing bronze ore, or we can't lock a furnace to only making, say, bronze bars, that means it is going to take the first available thing and fill it in. So if we had bronze ore and silver ore here in these 2 slots, it's always going to pick up the bronze ore first. So what would happen if this replicator was, say, set to make silver ore, and I had silver ore and bronze ore in the box, the replicator is going to recognize that it is ready to accept something as input, and it's going to pull the first thing from the chest. So it would pull the bronze ore in that example if it was in the first slot. Now, this means if I had all of these networked together, all of my furnaces would eventually just switch over to bronze ore, as bronze ore crafts the fastest, and it also means it's always going to be taking up that first slot in the box. So as you chain things together, you're always going to want to make sure you're thinking about what you're doing and making sure it's not going to conflict with another one of the machines. Over here, we've got an expanded version of my winemaker, so I can just come over here. I'm making strawberry wine as I got strawberries growing in my greenhouse. I can throw my strawberries into the chest. The strawberries are going to automatically fill all of these kegs, and then as it creates the juice, it's going to then automatically fill all of the wine. Now, with that in mind, as the wine and the juice gets done, it's going to dump them all in the chest here. I've been using juice as gifts. For strawberry juice, the majority of the citizens, there are a couple of standouts that don't like strawberry juice, but the majority of the townfolk will. Now, as looks like we've got wine close to finishing up here. It may or may not. Let's see. We've got a couple of bottles real close to being done. But what will happen here is the wine will leave the aging barrel, come down into the chest, the chest will then recognize that that aging barrel needs another product that it can use. Since in this situation we're only using strawberries, we've got strawberry juice and then strawberry wine, it's going to automatically take the juice as it is the only thing it can accept as an input to go into those aging barrels. So this works flawlessly, never an issue with it. Now, say that I wanted to do something with, making, let's say we'll use the recycling machines, and then say additionally we'll use kilns. Now, say I wanted to turn my recycling machine goodies into scrap, and I wanted to use the kilns to turn, say, stone into glass. Well, in that situation, it wouldn't work in this loadout. So if I had a kiln here and I had my recycling station here, I couldn't just throw stone and garbage into this chest. The reason being is the kiln is going to accept the stone, but it will also accept the garbage. So with that in mind, it will switch what it's creating midway, and then I won't have my automation locked in. So you always want to make sure that you're using something that is not going to conflict with another one of the chests. For this example, I do want to get the glass automated as, more glass, more better. So we're going to start off with some kilns in the background. Let's go ahead and throw down another chest here. Actually, I should have given myself some walking space. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's move everything over just one tile. That way I've got room to walk down this edge if I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself one tile space. Let's just go ahead and fill this room up with chests all the way down. Now we've got plenty of room to walk around. We want to get kilns first, so let's throw kilns over here. Let's say that we wanted to set this up kind of as just a dump spot for all of my animals and all of my livestock. Well, we know we're going to be making eggs. We can throw some mayo machines in here. I've also got some little truffle diggers, so we're going to want to make some truffle oil. We can throw that in over here. And then what else do we want to do? Let's see. We've also got looms. Let's go with some looms. We can throw those in here. And then we're going to have some cheese presses. We can throw the cheese presses in as well. Say like something like this. Now, none of these machines are going to conflict with the other, meaning I could head on over to my barn, collect up all the goodies. We can throw it in and not have any issue with how things are being fed or received out of the machines. So for this example, we went through and grabbed a bunch of stuff. We've got some eggs, we've got some wool, we've got some goat's milk. Additionally, we want to use stone in our kilns to create some glass. We can dump all of that stuff directly into a chest here, and it is going to take the next item that it can and feed it through to the appropriate machine. We see the stones are headed out and feeding in to create the glass. Now, it will take a moment for all of these machines to get loaded up. We see the cheese maker is going. The milk is going to come back around and go to this cheese maker as well. We've got eggs processing through, and everything is functioning well. Now, additionally, you can confuse your network if you make your network longer than it should be. So say all this was all connected into one big long conveyor belt. Since I have these empty tiles here, it's not going to trigger the chest to start feeding. That is a little bit weird. Sometimes it works properly, sometimes it doesn't. However, for this particular situation, this has created a perfect dump chest for us, where we can just dump all of our day's pickups, whether it be large eggs, wool, milk, goat's milk, whatever, and it's going to feed it through to the appropriate machines. Now, in this situation, of course, we have like large goat milks, and we've got regular cow's milk, So it's going to be making multiple products. This will allow multiple things to be created, and it is basically going to just work off whatever the first slot is. So since I've got goat's milk in the first slot, when these cheese presses are done, it's going to be grabbing the goat's milk and feeding it first. When it runs out of goat's milk, then it will switch over and do the regular milk. The same is the case for the llama wool or the regular wool. It will create the different products just based off of what is the very first thing to appear in that chest. So lots of cool things that can be done with automation in Coral Island. Hopefully this helps answer some questions. Basically just play around with what you can fit on one network and what you can't. Just by making sure that none of the materials are going to cause any conflicts with the other machines is going to allow you to get done whatever it is you're looking to get done in Coral Island. Now, in the case where I was mentioning, like with the ore, you want to keep those all on separate networks. That way those machines are dedicated to only producing that item. So for this front auto chest, of course, I want this only producing gold kelp. So all we have is gold kelp to feed it. It will never get confused, and it will always keep pumping out the gold kelp. Here we want this one only accepting osmium kelp, so we've got it on its own separate network. So lots of cool things that can be done. It just does take a little playing around to get things right. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching, and I will see you next time around. Take it easy.